The following program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision. It's time now for the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Here's your host for the program, Joseph J. Zoppi.
Hello, welcome to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, a real estate investor, consumer advocate, author, and managing partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You can reach us at templarcashforhouses.com. That's TEMPLAR cashforhouses.com. It's one word. Or you could call us at 973-315-7990. And we could answer any questions you may have. You could also email us from our website, and we could address any questions on the air that you'd like, or any questions in general, or if you need any services from us. My company is a real estate investment firm. We buy houses for cash. We purchase apartment buildings. We do joint ventures with other real estate investors. We loan money for rehabs and provide transactional or gap funding. We work with individuals that want to invest with us in single-family houses up to apartment buildings. We do not speculate. We are very protective of our money and our investors' money. I'm not a real estate agent, and we're not a brokerage, but I have individuals on staff that are agents that will sell your house the traditional way through the multiple listing service. This show will go over everything there is about real estate, those things that impact real estate. We'll talk about our rehabs, some of our investments, what went well, what did not go well, and how we adjusted accordingly. We'll talk about the economy, interest rates, and other things that will impact real estate. We'll discuss trends in the real estate market. Real estate is one of your biggest investments, so it's important that you know as much as possible about real estate. I'll provide you with my opinion. It's only my opinion. I encourage everyone to do due diligence in anything they do, especially on the financial side. It's very important. And I always talk about, make sure it's balanced. Make sure you get the pros and cons of both scenarios, and understand if an author is writing something, understand their slant on the topic in general and try to get an opposing view. I'd like to have a shout out to one of my listeners that always listens, Paulette. So hello, Paulette. Hopefully you're doing well. This past week I was interviewed for U.S. News and World Report. So it came out on September 16th, and the subject was what to consider before getting a reverse mortgage in retirement. So I'll speak to a little bit about reverse mortgages. A lot of people have lots of questions. They think it's this mysterious loan. They don't understand it. It's pretty straightforward. So basically, a reverse mortgage is a loan secured by your residential property, and it enables the borrower to draw upon the equity of the property. The loans are predominantly used for older homeowners and usually do not require monthly payments, which is a good thing. And a lot of times, individuals that have retired want to draw on their equity. So there's a couple of different ways of doing that. One of them is to get a home equity line of credit, which is called a HELOC, or a reverse mortgage. Reverse mortgage is good because you don't have to go through as much. In terms of that HELOC, you might not qualify for. That's the first thing. Second thing, they've really tightened up lines of credit for your home. So some banks are just not giving them out right now. And everybody thinks everything's going great, and superficially everybody says, oh, the economy's doing well, or it's getting better, and home prices are shooting through the roof, and all these other things that are going on. And to be honest, the banks are very concerned. And if the banks are concerned, I think you should be concerned, because these individuals, are forecasting, and they're looking at, things pretty far out. And if they're concerned, like I said, you should be concerned. And we are definitely concerned. Since this happened, I've been very cautious on certain things, and we're, seeing how things are being played out. That's why I've been pushing on individuals that want to sell quick, and you know seize the opportunity. I think that's extremely, extremely important. So, on the reverse mortgage side, there's a number of, pros associated with it. The homeowner continues to live in their home and retains title as long as they meet the loan obligations. So, what are the loan obligations? Loan obligations are usually you have to pay your property tax, you have to pay any maintenance, insurance fees, and if you're like in a townhome or a condo, you have to pay your homeowner association fees. If you don't do that, then the loan could be called, and you're going to have to either put up the money, or they're going to want you to sell the house. It's one or the other. And so it's very, very, very important you meet those obligations. You could use, from a homeowner's perspective, and you have a reverse mortgage, you could use different options in terms of receiving the funds. So it could be like a lump sum, one time payment, or a line of credit where you could just draw upon it, or a monthly scheduled advances. So, 500 every month or 200 every month, to maybe meet some shortfalls you have, or any combination thereof. So, that's a good thing. The funds for the reverse mortgage loan can be used for any purpose at all. And that's good. Homeowners do not need to make any mortgage payments. Like I said, as long as you live in the house and you meet those obligations, that's the biggest thing. Now, on the con side, the loan balance continues to increase as time and fees and interest on the loan accumulate. So you have X amount of equity in your house, but there's fees associated with it. So you're just not drawing down like $1,000 a month, and that's it. There's interest on it, and there's fees on it. So again, you could burn through your equity fairly quickly, and you might be surprised. But you could go through all your equity and you could still live in the house. That's the good thing. The only problem is that if you're expecting for your heirs, if after your passing, to get something for it in terms of the equity, they might not have no equity left in the house. So you really got to watch that, and you really have to talk to a financial planner, a good financial planner, about that, and understand all the ramifications associated with it. Also, homeowners' eligibility for certain government programs such as Medicaid or supplemental security income may be impacted. That's a big thing. Okay, I'll say that again. Homeowners' eligibility for certain government programs such as Medicaid or supplemental security income may be impacted. So that's something you need to look at. Okay. Also, the fees for the reverse mortgage can be higher than a traditional mortgage. So that's another thing you need to look at. So again, there's some good things about reverse mortgages, but tread lightly. Make sure you know what you're getting into before you do anything with them. Okay, they're not illegal. They're not, but just just watch. I know there's been a lot of negative connotations with reverse mortgages, and I can understand that. But if you need it as a stopgap, that's fine. But again, you could burn through your equity very quickly. And as people are living longer, they could just burn through it, and then if they're planning to use that until they pass and they run out, then we have an issue. Especially with you could say houses are always increasing 2-3% per year, but that's not always going to be the case. We're expecting a pullback. I don't know when, but there's always is a pullback in terms of housing prices. They get to a point where it's too high, and then there has to be an adjustment. So again, if you're banking on some of those things, just be wary. I'm always very concerned about things like that. So again, if you are interested in selling your house for cash, we're more than happy to help you with that. Give us a call, and you could just ask, I need to sell my house fast, for cash. Can we talk about it? I'll come on site, or one of my staff members will take a look at the house, and then we'll provide you with an offer. And we always give you a couple of different options. We do not ever give you just one option, except on certain circumstances there might only be one option. But we don't like to shoehorn anyone into this is the only way to go. Now, there are certain situations where the house is in such disrepair that that's the only option there is a cash offer. But there's other times where we could see different scenarios. What's the best option? Maybe to sell through the multiple listing service. Maybe if you don't get the price you want, or it stays on the market too long, then we could purchase it for cash. So there's a few scenarios on that, and each individual has certain needs, and we like to address these solutions through those needs and make sure that they're satisfied with that. That's very, very important to us. Another thing, we get a lot of calls because individuals go on our website, they look at the video testimonials. These are real people that have been nice enough to, we have given videos, and we recorded them, and they've given some stellar reviews. We really have, a lot of our customers are just ecstatic with everything we've given them, because in the end we set expectations very clearly, and that's very, very important, that expectations are set and we meet those or exceed those, and that's what we try to do always, is exceed them. So we're very conservative, so we might give you a conservative projection in terms of when you sell your house, but we rather be on the side of the conservative side, and then when we over deliver, everyone's really happy. A lot of times when we quote you on a house, when we want to sell it for you, we'll give you a conservative number saying you'll get this number, and you can feel confident with that. But that doesn't mean that we won't list it higher, and we'll push very hard for you to maximize how much you're going to get. We don't want to just sell your house quick just because to get the commission. That's not the way we do it. We really want a very happy client, and of course, to give us a great testimonial also. So I'm closing out this segment. I will return shortly, and again, you could reach us at 973-315-7990 or at templarcashforhouses.com. Thank you very much.
Life can be a roller coaster, and sometimes you need to sell your house fast. That's why there's TemplarBuysHouses.com. Maybe you're downsizing, getting a divorce, having health or financial issues. If so, head to TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com will buy your house quickly and without hassle. If you've inherited a house that is vacant, contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. Dealing with them is easy and quick. No high-pressure sales tactics, and you won't have to fix up the house. They will buy your house as is. You pick the closing date and when you move out. No commissions and no hassles. Contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call 973-315-7990. That's 973-315-7990.
Be sure to listen to the podcast of the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Find it now at TemplarBuysHouses.com.
Welcome to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, Managing Partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You could reach us at 973-315-7990 or TemplarCashForHouses.com. If you need to sell your house fast for cash, please give us a call. Also, if you need to sell through the traditional multiple listing service, also please give us a call. We'd be more than happy to take care of that, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by our service. Right now, I'd like to talk about a couple things. One is about a house that I had spoken about a couple weeks ago. We had put it up for sale. It was one of our own rehabs, and we priced it very high. You know, we were seizing on the opportunity with this COVID and limited inventory, and we had some concerns. We had it under contract. Originally, it was an FHA buyer. She backed out, and we reduced the price $10,000. And we got it under contract again. We got $5,000 over our adjusted asking price. So that was good, but we knew still the price was very high, and we were concerned about the appraisal. When we went into contract, we requested that the appraisal be done before the inspection. Traditionally, the inspection is done first, then the appraisal. Well, our house is really well done, so there really isn't a concern from the buyer so much for the inspection. Inspection has to be done, but it just everything is brand new in the house, just about. We received the preliminary information on the appraisal, so it's probably $10,000 to $15,000 lower than what the buyer put into the contract and said they would pay for it. We'll eventually have to negotiate once we get a formal appraisal back, but we expected it to be around that number. So there was really no surprise. Now we have an inspection going on. That was just done, and we'll have to negotiate accordingly based on what comes back from the inspection, as well as what we're going to give back because of the difference in price. One of the things that when we put a house on the market, we always price it a little higher than maybe it should, or a little higher than the appraisal amount that we expect. When we put a house on the market, it's based on emotion. That individuals that are going to buy the house are going to base it on emotion, because traditionally our houses are the nicest ones in the neighborhood, and we usually sell our houses within like basic communities. They're not very high-end communities like we'll say Livingston or Madison, where every single house is nice. We're really, for the most part, like Madison. One house is just as nice or nicer than the other. They're all really nice houses. If you start driving around, there are certain areas that are not as, up to date, but traditionally, you could look through 10 houses and they're all beautiful with beautiful finishes. Where you go into another neighborhood where it's a nice neighborhood, but they're not the finest finishes, they're dated, so on and so forth. So when we do this, we're doing it based on emotion, and that's very important. People look at the eyes, they go, wow, I want to live here. Right now, we're just waiting back, like I said, for the inspection, and we'll see where it goes, and we'll see what changes we have to do. One of the things that we also usually do with our houses, and sometimes we recommend it for our clients, is that if the individual or the agent, the buyer's agent, gets full asking price or above it, we'll give a $2,000 bonus. And these are different things that you can do to incentivize the buyer's agent. Now, sometimes they don't even realize that there's these different options or incentives within the contract. But after they see it, they're like, wow, another $2,000. So it makes them, it entices them. We also usually do, if it's under contract within the first month, we'll also give another maybe $1,000. So again, we're trying to drive behavior of the agent, the buyer's agent. And again, sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. A lot of times the agent does not see in the multiple listing system all the different options we give in terms of incentives. But when we do, it really drives or helps drive a better price, which is good. And we always recommend it. Now, certain individuals that we recommend it to, they're kind of short-sighted with that. And they don't just look at it as, they just look at it as they're going to lose $2,000. And that's not a good way of looking at it. Everything we do is really based on those numbers and how to drive behavior, whether it's behavior of the buyer looking at the house and saying, wow, I want this house, or the behavior of the buyer's agent that said, wow, I want this extra bonus. So those are the things that we are always looking at, those subtleties to drive certain things. When we negotiate, we want to make sure that we have a good position from a negotiation perspective and how to mitigate certain risks, which is very, very important. You put something under contract, that doesn't mean it's going to come to fruition to the end. And that's really, really important that you understand that. One of the things that happened 2 days ago, I received a call from a woman. She had a condo or a townhome under contract. And she sounded like a lovely woman. It was her and her mom selling the condo. They lived together down in South Jersey. And she said, Joe, I'm already packed and everything. And I find out now that the contract's not going through. The mortgage wasn't approved. And she was just in tears. And she was holding it together pretty well, I thought, because she had banked on selling the townhome and moving down south with her mom and where her family is. And she explained the story to me, and it kind of resonates in terms of what happened with us on this past house and FHA and so on and so forth. So what happened was she listed the house for, I think, 188, the townhome, and she might have negotiated it down to 180, I think. That I wasn't clear with. There was an FHA loan. They had an appraisal. A lot of the FHA appraisals were always they're all over the place, and you really can't tell where they are sometimes, and sometimes they come in considerably lower than you expected. So her appraisal came in at like 175. I looked at her house and I looked at the comps in the area after we got off the phone. I thought it was a little low, but that sometimes happens with FHA, and that's always a concern of ours, is the appraisals and also the inspections. So it came in a little lower. She lowered her price from what I understand. And the gentleman said he needed an extra 30 days to close. They said, okay. And she put off everything. Then she finds out that he was furloughed all this time and he was going back to work, and they pushed it back another month. After that happened, he went back to work, but what happened was that it was only part time. So when he reapplied for the mortgage, it didn't go through. Now she's upset. The agent that she worked with did bring it up to her, say, "Do you want to relist it?" And her and her mom said, "Well, we like the buyer, and we'd like to continue with it." And now she's very upset that this has happened. She's kind of upset with the agent too, which I don't think it was the agent's fault. The agent brought it up and said, "Do you want to put it back on the market?" Now, I don't know if the agent said we could put it back on the market or we could be accepting backup offers. And that's what we would do. And that's what we did with this past house is we said, because we were concerned about FHA, that we would be accepting backup offers. So I don't know if that happened, but she was very upset at that. And she says, "Joe, can you just, buy my house? I'd like to, you know, move out and, move down south." So I'm going to go look at the house this week, or I think one of my staff's going, and we'll see where it goes. But, the other thing is that she's under contract right now with the agent. I don't know if she could get out of the contract. I don't know. She's looking into that, because I'm going to just buy it for cash and we'll see where it goes. I'm not going to do anything against the contract. We always adhere to all those things. Some agents will cancel a contract even before it's up, where others will say, no, if it's 6 months, it's 6 months, and that's it. That's why we always recommend doing it for less time in case you're not satisfied. Now, with us, if you ever want to cancel the contract anytime, you can just cancel it anytime. We're not into forcing people to stay into a contract like that. We're just not when we're selling a house through the multiple listing service. We're not like that. We want someone to be happy, and if they want to get out of the contract, they're not happy, we'll obviously do whatever it needs to. But if you want out of a contract, you want out of a contract. It's that simple. We really never get that scenario where someone wants to be out of a contract, but if that's the case, that's the case. We're always looking at our clients' best interests, and if they feel that the best interest is to go somewhere else or do something else or stop listing the house, whatever the case may be, we're always going to work with them. That's one of our fundamental principles for Templar, is to make sure that our customers are happy, our clients are happy, and we can do anything possible to make them achieve what they need to achieve. And that goes with our investors. We always have really happy investors because we set expectations. We say this is how much they're going to get, and they get it in a timely fashion. And you can't ask for more, especially these days, because there's always the excuse, well, I didn't know about this, I didn't know about this, and excuse upon excuse. And that's not with us. If we say we're going to do something, we do it. Well, I'd like to thank everyone. Have a nice weekend. Again, if you need to call us at 973-315-7990 or TemplarCashforHouses.com. Thank you very much. God bless and take care. Bye.
Life can be a roller coaster, and sometimes you need to sell your house fast. That's why there's TemplarBuysHouses.com. Maybe you're downsizing, getting a divorce, having health or financial issues. If so, head to TemplarBuysHouses.com. TEMPLAR BuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com will buy your house quickly and without hassle. If you've inherited a house that is vacant, contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. Dealing with them is easy and quick. No high-pressure sales tactics, and you won't have to fix up the house. They will buy your house as is. You pick the closing date and when you move out. No commissions and no hassles. Contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. TEMPLAR BuysHouses.com. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call 973-315-7990. That's 973-315-7990.
Be sure to listen to the podcast of the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Find it now at TemplarBuysHouses.com.
The preceding program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision.